Hi, my name is Lucy Trueman. I'm the founder of Trueman Change and an organisational psychologist, and welcome to Psychology Fridays, which is the series where we pick a particular topic or model or piece of research and we explore how you might apply that in a real world change and transformation programme. So this week, this is one of my absolute favourite topics, and that is culture. But we're going to specifically look at Edgar Schein's view of what cultural artifacts are. So one of the things that's interesting about culture is an observation of mine. I notice when people talk about it, they often mean entirely different things, and they often mean people's behaviour, and they often mean they talk about it as if it's some magic fairy dust thing that's in the air that nobody can control or perceive, and you can't really get a grip of it. And that could not be further from the truth. So there are lots of different views in terms of what exactly culture is. My favourite definition is it's how messages move around the organisation. But Edgar Schein's model, who is often referred to as the godfather of culture, is specifically around that you can look for artifacts in different things in an organisation to enable you to effectively read the culture, and if you can read it, you can influence it. So it is a very powerful model. So what do we mean by artifacts? So there's a range of different ones, and I'm going to really quickly run through Schein's view of what each one of those was. So symbols, which is things that you can see happening that are symbolic of something else. So that might be posters on the wall that kind of dictate a more paternalistic kind of culture. So things that you can see that symbolize something. The second is stories, which is hugely powerful. So pay attention and listen to what stories are being told. It's a really good person to ask new people this. So what stories have you been told since you started? What stories are being told, and how might that shape your culture? Myths, we see loads of this, so often related to stories. So there'll be some sort of myth where people believe that something happened, or they believe that there's a certain value in the organisation and it's not quite right. There's a lot of myth busting work involved when you want to change culture. Rituals and routines, so that might be things like regular meetings, routines that just happen all the time without question. Power structures, so where does power really lie? Now this is a separate one from organisational structures because the two don't necessarily align, so it's important to be able to look at both of them. And finally, control and systems, which a lot of people neglect to think of when they're thinking of culture because they attribute it so much to this soft behaviour thing. But actually, the way that we make decisions, the way that we run our meetings, the systems that we use all drive behaviour. So there are an example of a few things that you can look at when you're looking at culture. We run lots of culture sessions using this sort of work, but in a more simplified way, to really assess and map and understand what a culture is before you start a change programme, or when you're in a change programme and it feels like it's not moving. It's super important when you are driving change to really understand whether your culture is aligned with it or not, because if it isn't, the change won't land. So I hope that's helpful. Slightly longer video than usual, but it's very hard to do this work justice. It's the work of Edgar Schein if you want to pick it up yourself and have a look at other much more detailed explanations. And if you'd like a conversation about culture, then please do get in touch.